Hey, I'm Paula Deen, and today I'm pulling out all the stops in my kitchen, because even a down-home girl like me loves a fancy party from time to time. And fancy doesn't mean fussy. So first I'm going to give you the tip to a no muss, no fuss, a Mosaic chicken terrine that is worth the time that you've saved on everything else. Next, I'll show you my Brie Croute that really makes your table look gorgeous and takes no time at all. And when we get that going, there's my simple diver scallops seared in a secret sauce that'll have everybody thinking you've been at it all day. So pick out some pretty flowers and get out Granny's linens, because entertaining with style has never been so easy. I started cooking when I was 18 years old as a new bride. I'm very lucky because I came from a family of wonderful Southern cooks. And at 42 years old, I was faced with having to support myself and my two sons, so I turned to my first love, which is cooking, and so I started cooking for a living. I think food is such a big part of family, and I hope that y'all can watch me and learn to have fun with yours while building wonderful memories around the food that you're preparing. Hi, today's show is all about fancy food, but don't be put off by the word fancy, because you know me. This is going to be the simplest fancy food you've ever seen. And the center point of today's meal is the Brie Croute. It's a wonderful soft cheese baked inside a puff pastry, and when you cut it, the cheese and the brown sugar and the nuts just ooze out. And believe it or not, I found a group of nuns out in the country that say they have the perfect cheese for my Brie Croute. So today I'm going to put my faith in the Lord and go get that cheese. So y'all come with me. Sprout Creek Farm is a special place run by very special people. Sister Terrine and her team have created an organic farm, using it to teach young people how to appreciate nature and create wonderful food, including their own soft cheese made in the French manner. I just love visiting, not just for the food, but for the great spirit the farm creates.
Paula, I'd like to introduce you to Lisa and Brandon.
Hey, how are y'all? Lisa and Brandon make these Barrett cheeses by hand, just as they've done for centuries in Europe. Brandon, what are you doing?
After the cheese is made, we unmold, we salt it, and it gets put in front of a fan. Because the salt brings the moisture out on the surface, the fan dries it off, and then it goes into the ripening room.
Well, tell me, what makes your cheese so good here?
Well, the flavor of the cheese starts with the grass. It's very important. What you put into your cows will depend what you're going to get out of your cows. Here at Sprout Creek Farm, what we try to do is feed our cows completely grass. What they found is that a legume-based diet actually lowers the bad cholesterol. So we're very proud to say to people, you can eat our cheese. One of the other things that's really important is the kind of cow you have. We have a lot of Jerseys and Guernsey cows, which give extremely rich milk. And one of the reasons our cheeses are so good is very high, rich fat content. Makes our cheeses very creamy, almost buttery flavored.
What are the mistakes that most people make in storing their cheese, Lisa?
These cheeses here are aged cheeses, which means that they don't necessarily have to be refrigerated. If you're planning on buying a cheese and taking it home and eating it right away, what you might want to do is just put it on your counter under a nice cheese glass, wipe off any moisture that forms, and what you'll get is a nice full flavor from your cheese. When it's refrigerated, it kind of inhibits some of the flavors from coming out.
Well, what cheese are you recommending for me today to substitute my Brie for?
The Barrett, this is our smallest cheese compared to the other two that we have.
Well, I have to say, I'm dying to taste it.
Well, follow me, I'll show you where you can taste it at.
Sister Karen, are you sure this cheese is going to work for me?
Why don't you try it?
It's heavenly.
Oh,
I think I like it better than Brie. Thank you very much, Sister Karen, for bringing me in here and let me taste your cheese. It's truly delicious.
you're welcome.
So in a minute, I'm going to show you what we're going to do with these cheeses. But first, we're going to start on a dish that's going to make you look like you've worked very, very hard. It's called Mosaic chicken terrine. We're going to start by seasoning our chicken, and I'm using a lemon pepper on it. A nice, plump, fat breast. And we're just going to take them and wash them into 2 beaten eggs. And then we're going to dip it in our Parmesan cheese. And the egg will help that cheese to stick to it. This is a wonderful, wonderful dish that is great for birthday parties, holiday parties. All the dishes that I'm doing will make people think that I've worked a little harder than I really have. And we're actually going to serve this dish cold. You could actually go ahead and cook it and prepare it the day before, because it really has to sit in the refrigerator so that it can become a solid mass. We're going to start by putting our chicken breast into the bottom of our loaf pan. You can see that I've lined my loaf pan with parchment paper. This will prevent our dish from sticking to our pan, and also it'll give us easy removal for our terrine. Now, on the next layer, you can do whatever flavors you really like. I'm using a mortadella and a salami. Now, our next step to our terrine, we're going to take just some ordinary canned artichokes, not a marinated artichoke. Put it in our egg and run it through our Parmesan cheese also. And then we're just going to kind of press that into it. And these are nice and soft, so you can kind of mash them so they'll spread out. And now I'm going to the garden because I'm going to put as my next layer fresh basil. So I'll be right back. I just love the smell of fresh basil. Oh, it's heavenly. So we're just going to take these leaves, we're going to cover the top. And this is so pretty when you slice into your terrine and you see the different layers and textures. And then we start all over again with a layer of chicken. We're going to press that down nice and firm. And when we get ready to bake this, I'm going to show you another trick, the trick that really weights it down. My friend Martha Nesbitt shared this recipe with me. Martha's such a great cook, and I really trust her palate. I think we have very similar taste, and we both like to keep things simple. So there it is, just very simple. We're going to finish it off with a little bit more basil. And actually, when we take this out and put it on a platter, this is going to be the bottom because it'll be inverted onto our tray. So now we're to the part that I told you about that we're going to weight it down. We're going to take just a standard brick and we're going to wrap it in tin foil. Even though I've washed the brick, I don't know where it's been. So I want to make sure it's clean and not carrying any germs. We're going to take another piece of parchment paper and cover the top of our terrine, and then just simply lay our brick down in there and put our weight on it. And we're going to bake it in this glass dish. We're going to fill it with a little water so that the heat won't be too harsh on our terrine as it bakes. So we're going to put this in the oven now. We're going to bake it for about 2 hours. Then we're going to take it out. We're going to let it cool at room temperature, and then we're going to put it in the refrigerator, and we're ready for a party. This one I've had in the refrigerator all night. Actually, I'm going to need 2 to feed the size group that I'm having. So I'm going to take that parchment paper off, and as you can see, I've removed the brick. We're just going to invert this onto our platter. See how nice and easy that comes out? Now I want to show you how I like to garnish this. It also looks like I've gone to a lot of trouble when I really haven't. I'm going to take a tomato and make a tomato rose very quickly. Take the skin and go around the whole tomato, and hopefully I won't interrupt this by it breaking on me. You can see I've got a long, thin skin. I'm going to start by taking this end, turning it inside out, starting right there, and that's going to be my bud of my rose. I'm just going to wrap that, and then I'm going to take my basil and put right in the center, and then put my tomato rose right on top. And see how simple? Y'all stick around because I really, really am praying that Sister Karen is not going to let me down.
I so hope y'all are enjoying the show. And if you do, be sure to click like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you'll never miss a video. And we'll be right back after the break.
Well, here's the cheese that the nuns have promised me will work perfectly. It's a Barra cheese, where normally for this dish, I would use a Brie. So let's open this up and see what we have. So I can't wait to try this. We're gonna start first now with our puff pastry. This is just an ordinary puff pastry that you'll find in the freezer of your grocery store. Don't confuse this with phyllo. This is a puff pastry. So we're gonna dust our rolling pin with a little flour because we don't want this to stick. And inch out the size of our pastry just a little bit. That looks perfect. I've got a skillet heating here and I'm gonna saute off some walnuts, just long enough to release the oils, which is gonna help give us our flavor that we're looking for. I can already begin to smell those walnuts roasting. You wanna make sure they don't burn. You could use pecans in this dish or almonds as far as that goes. I just love walnuts though. And well, I'm a pecan girl too since I come from a pecan state. Now we're gonna start by taking the top of the rind off of this cheese as you would the Brie. Now some people don't bother removing any of the rind, but for some reason I just like the idea of whatever I'm topping it with getting down in there. And we're just gonna sit that in the center. This is gonna look like you've worked so hard. And you can see right now how simple it is. Pile it up with those walnuts, and we're just gonna sprinkle it with brown sugar. And then I'm gonna take about 1/8 of a teaspoon of cinnamon and just sprinkle it like that. I'm gonna get everything towards the center. And if you need to, see, you can just stretch your dough out by hand. And if we find when we go to tuck him all together and wrap him up, if we haven't got it big enough, that's easy to solve too. We'll just roll it out a little bit more. So we're gonna take an ordinary kitchen twine and snip him off about like that. You know, I don't think there's any way that you can mess this dish up. You can see it's so very simple. We really hadn't had to cook anything except our walnuts. So we're gonna bring this up like so, working with the long points, and we're gonna kind of just tuck in the shorter pieces like this, kind of press him together, and then we're gonna take our cord, just tie him up just like that. Look at this pretty little bundle that we're gonna have here. These recipes have been around for quite a while using your cheese, your nice soft cheeses, and your Brie. We want our little bundle of pastry to really shine, so we're just gonna simply beat up an egg and take our little pastry brush, and we're just gonna brush him like this. Some people like the whites for your egg wash, but I prefer the yellow too. The yellow, I've just found that when I leave the yolk, it gives it a pretty soft yellow color. And I'll tell you this, girls, men just love this dish. Hot bread and cheese. Paint it until we get all the pastry that's gonna be exposed painted. This is kind of like us putting on our makeup. We're just gonna transfer him to our baking dish and throw him into the oven until he's nice and brown. You don't need to butter your pan because there's so much butter in your puff pastry. So he goes in just like that. Now this is my sweet little Brie that I can always count on. Look at that. You can see the brown sugar and the nuts and the butter just oozing out of it. And now for the real test. I'm gonna find out if that angelic, darling little nun has lied to me. Praise the Lord. She didn't lie to me. It's much more yellow than our Brie. It's heavenly, buttery, and sweet, and tart all at the same time. Thank you, Sister Karen. Yum. When we come back to finish our fancy food show today, I'm going to be diving for scallops.
I hope y'all are enjoying the show, and I want to hear from you. Tell me what recipes or videos you'd like to see me make by just leaving a short comment below. Now, let's get back to the show, y'all.
Our final dish that I'm preparing today is called seared diver scallops. And when you think of scallops, you just think fancy kind of, don't you? I don't know, maybe it's because they're a little on the pricey side. But I promise you, you're going to have folks swarming all over your table for this one. And again, it's very, very simple. I'm starting by cutting up 4 pieces of bacon, and you don't have to cut it up, but I'm giving it just a little head start in the Cuisinart. And we're going to take 3 tablespoons of whole grain mustard. We're going to pulsate this until it's completely smooth. So we're just going to take our scallops. Smells good. And we're just going to pat our scallops with our rub until we have them all done. And I would probably figure about 4 scallops per person. And there again, that depends on how big your scallops are. Now we've got a nice count today. These are nice and fat and plump. And I wouldn't use a base scallop for this because they're tiny. They're about the size of a marble. And it would take you forever to do those. I just love the sea scallops because of their size. And I've got my pan searing over here. You can see it smoking. And I'm going to pour just a little oil in there, so hopefully they won't stick. And we don't have to cook them. We just want to kind of sear them and brown them because these are going to finish off in our oven. Don't just buy scallops from anybody. You want to make sure they're good and fresh. You get them from a person that you can trust. Now, I would recommend that you prepare this early in the day. Do your coating. Put them on a piece of wax paper and keep them in the refrigerator until you're ready to cook them. And that way it would give the coating time to adhere to them. So that's another thing that really appeals to me about this dish when you're having company, because you got so much to do. So anytime that you can save a little time by doing ahead, I'm all for that. This menu that I'm doing today is really meant to just impress people. Make them think that we know what we're doing. Now we're just going to sear them maybe just for a minute on each side. You can see I've already turned a few of them, and these are done. Look how delicious those look, and they smell so wonderful. You know, scallops are so unique in their texture, in their flavor, in their taste. It's like no other seafood. Doesn't taste a thing like shrimp. Doesn't taste a thing like fish. I think I'd like a little paprika on mine, just to help give it a nice brown color. So I'm going to go back and sprinkle these so when they come out of the oven they'll be a pretty chestnut brown. All right, these are ready, so I'm going to cut off my pan and go ahead and transfer these over. I'm taking some of the coating that's gone into our pans and I'm just going to add it back to our scallops. So all we have to do now is throw these in the oven and let them finish cooking. And remember, with all your seafood, you don't want to overcook. So this will take just only a few minutes. These should be ready now. Oh, and they are. They look just great. You can see what the paprika's done to them. And you can see the bacon coming out of each one of them. They look and smell so, so good. So that completes our scallop dish. And when we come back, I'm going to share a few tips with you that'll make your life a lot easier.
I so hope y'all are enjoying the show. And if you do, be sure to click like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you'll never miss a video. And we'll be right back after the break.
So I'd like to share a few last-minute tips with you. If you have any puff pastry left over, you can take your cookie cutters and cut them into delicate little shapes and garnish your platters with them. My table and the food on it looks so beautiful today. It looks like I've gone to a lot of trouble, but I really hadn't. I've started here with a cheese tray with a little apple on it, which is absolutely no problem. Just garnish it and you're ready to go. And the Brie on Croute, you can wrap your Brie or cheese of your choice in the puff pastry, put it in the refrigerator until it's time to bake off. And the chicken terrine is such a beauty because it is actually cooked the day before. So all you have to do is unmold it onto a platter. You can coat your scallops early in the day in your rub and put them in the refrigerator and let them sit until you fry them at the last minute. The party I've round that I prepared today was cooked this morning, and it's to be served at room temperature. And I've made a wonderful pot of creme fraiche mashed potatoes that will be divine with your beef or your scallops, even your chicken. So all of these dishes are beautiful, tasty, and easy, which is going to mean that I'm going to have fun with my guest. So until next time, America, best dishes from my table to yours.
Hey y'all, it's Paula Deen. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be alerted when I post a video. Love and best dishes, y'all.